Today we are talking how to cope with anxiety on video. Now, we've all have some anxiety to some degree. So this topic will never get old for me and hopefully not for you either. So I feel like this is going to be a good one. Our guest is Natalie, and she is an anxiety coach. Let's just dive in. So, why do people get so anxious before doing a speech? Can you help us out there?
Totally, because I've been there many times before. So everyone gets really in their head before they do a speech, right? They're thinking, what if I mess up? What if I say the wrong thing? What if no one likes me? And it's all about them. And it's not about the idea that you're presenting, which I think is part of the problem, because what you're presenting is what's of value. Of course, people want to, like you and know you, and you want to have good energy, but it's what you say that truly matters. So if you're too in your head and wrapped up in your ego, then what you say is, just going to be butchered because you're just focused on you and not about what you're presenting and the people that are there. So that would be my response to that question.
And how do you get out of your head? Because say if this is your first time, so you've prepared, but it's still, going through your head. So what are some tips that could help me get out of my head and put that ego to the side?
Yeah, I would first say, tell yourself that your mission is greater than your fear, or what you're presenting is more important than your fears of messing up right now. So tell yourself that over and over. You can then get into your body, take deep belly breaths, because that actually calms your nervous system. There's like your vagus nerve sits on your diaphragm, and that regulates your flight or fight mode. So when you're anxious, your heart's beating really fast, your palms are sweaty, and maybe you're getting chest pains. But as soon as you take deep belly breaths, your system starts to relax. So then you can start, believing that you're not so anxious anymore because your body doesn't feel anxious. So after that, you can you psych yourself up, tell yourself that this is about the idea I'm bringing and this isn't about me. And, have fun with it. Do some mirror work. You can shake it out, like just anything to help get you into your body and out of your head.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because that helps me. Like taking deep breaths, that really does help. People just think that's so simple, but no, it really does work.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. And like you said, just thinking that it's about what you say. And if it's your first time, honestly, it may not be your best. It's okay. Live to fight another day. It's okay.
Yes.
Because I always tell my clients and people in this community, you never got on a bike and knew what to do right off. You never got in a swimming pool and knew what to do. The same thing for public speaking, the same thing for the first time showing up on video. It's a process.
Yeah.
Watch the replays, get better, and you will look back and be like, what? This was me. You'll laugh or you'll cringe like, this used to be me.
Exactly. I want to tell you a story about that. One, I used to be terrible on video. Like my coach would tell me to send him videos just with an update that would be sent directly to him with hey, this is what I'm doing today. I would freak out, press re-record 5 different times. I was not looking at the camera. I was just so scattered and anxious. And now, after years of practice and doing the inner work and also just practicing over and over, I've spoken at weddings, and then recently I've been doing workshops. And last week I totally blanked out in the middle of a workshop. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to need a moment here. I laughed it off and moved on, and no one even noticed. No one said anything. I got great feedback after. And it was just it was just, it was in my head. Had I been caught up in that story that I'm not good enough, or I'm not, I shouldn't be here. And what if I mess up? Then it could have been a disaster, but, I just moved on. So, yeah.
Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Like, you are human. And I do the same thing. Sometimes I forget what I was talking about. And sometimes if I'm like, what was I just saying? Like, bring them in, or like you said, take a deep breath, start again. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, we just put so much pressure on ourselves. And I think that's as a result of being in school, and we're taught that we have to get A's and do well. We need to fit in, and we're all traumatized by people laughing at us when we're younger. So many people get really scared of being on stage. And hey, like, I've gotten really nervous still before speaking at weddings. It's not like it doesn't happen. But, once you just begin to do it and get those reps in, then you feel so much better and believe that you're there for a reason. Like you said, have grace, accept yourself and love yourself and appreciate yourself. And once you really start to believe that, it will get easier to do.
Yeah.
So totally agree.
And like you, it never leaves me either. If I'm doing something or on the news or something like that, yeah, I get very anxious, nervous, all of that. And it's just like, I just have like a little routine. Like, I want to be by myself, before I go on, just to get myself together. To take those deep breaths and get my mind together, go over some notes for the last, time before I go. And then it's just like game time. But once you get out there, you may be nervous, but then once you start going, you forget about it.
Yeah, then you're totally in flow and it feels amazing. So
I'm Rosie, your video coach and your program and course creator for I'm Doing This, I'm Going Live, and the real secrets to gaining confidence and going live. I help women gain confidence and conquer their fear of video. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask them in the comments section. I would love to engage with you there and answer your questions. If you find value in this video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my other videos, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell. So let's do this. Again, the title of this show is How to Cope with Anxiety on Video. Our guest is Natalie, and she is an anxiety coach. So welcome, Natalie, to the Bandwidth.
hey, Rosie, I'm so excited to be here. And thank you for the kind introduction. My name is Natalie Reinfeld, and I am an anxiety coach, like Rosie mentioned, and an empowerment guide. And I help women feel less anxious and more fulfilled, more confident, and more at peace in their day-to-day lives. So that's me in a nutshell. You can find me on Instagram. That's where you'll see my videos and all that jazz. So I'll leave it short and sweet for now.
So what are some myths about public speaking?
Well, I think we touched on a few of them, but one, you're probably always going to get nervous. And I know some of like the best public speakers and TED talkers, they've spoken about how they've always gotten nervous before they've gotten on stage. And I think it's just how you choose to respond to that anxiety, right? It's like, am I going to let it control me, or I'm going to, hear it out and listen to what it has to say? Maybe it's like, oh, you didn't prepare, but I did prepare, thanks anxiety, like, and I'm just going to do this. Like, what else can I do about it right now? So it's kind of being present and looking forward. The second is you have to be a natural to be a great public speaker. And I think based on what we've talked about, we know that's not true. You just have to practice. And that's, what any good, like any experts have to do in life is just practice. I've read this book by Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic. And she was she just said from the beginning of her life that she would be a writer, and she didn't care what other people thought. And so she would write every single day, her first works, and there were some works that were not great, but she got rejection letters and she's like, oh my God, I did it. I got a rejection letter. So maybe she wasn't a natural, but she kept doing it. And then Eat, Pray, Love, like, just took off, And so I think it's a great story that shows you just have to love what you're doing and love that process. And, then you'll look like a natural to other people as long as you put the reps in.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. And I think the last one is that you have to be perfect in your delivery. And that's also not true. I think especially at this day and age, people just want authenticity. They want to know that you're excited about it. They want to know that you're real and that, you have some knowledge on what you're talking about. And I think that's it. So even if you mess up, even if you don't get it perfect, like perfection is it's an illusion. No one can be perfect, or you're perfect as you are. So you can pick one of those to choose, but you can't get everything right, and that's fine.
Yeah, consistency is the key, and you will get better. And just like the example you gave for the eat, pray, I love, like, not caring what other people think. That is just something that you have to, get mentally strong. But maybe have, maybe a couple of people that you listen to that have constructive. If it's like, or maybe you should do this, or, I couldn't really hear you speak up, or whatever it could be. I don't know. In the moment, you have those couple of people that you listen to. But as far as people on the internet, the trolls and stuff like that, you have to, like, don't even worry about it, and know that, everybody is not going to be kind. So you may have that, but you just can't, let that bother you. You have to just forge on and know what your purpose and mission is. So, and that's time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what you said about like just hearing those bits of feedback from other people and deciding, like, is this useful? And then, deciding whether or not you want to take it on. So just ask yourself that question. Is it useful if this guy's like, you were crap, or, that idea is totally bogus? Probably not. But if they say, hey, like, I couldn't really hear you. Yeah, that's pretty useful. Like, I'd like to take that on going forward. So you can trust yourself that you can discern between what feedback is useful and what feedback isn't, and will it help you going forward. So
Yeah.
I love that you said that.
And then finding your why. Why is that so important when you're preparing a presentation or a speech?
Oh, I love this question, because this is what really helped me move forward. And I think, like, uh, made me progress so much with my public speaking, because I got really clear on why I was here on this planet. And it might seem like, oh, wow, that's like, really far out there. And I just want to make a speech about, how I can make good brownies, or I don't know, or whatever it is. I hope maybe it's something different. But for me, once I figured out why I was here on the planet and what I really wanted to do with my life, what brought me to tears, like what really moved me, and if the world gave me a microphone, what would be one thing I'd want to say to people, or like two? I was like, okay, any other stories that are coming up in my head right now are just totally irrelevant. Like, it's not about, oh, do I look good in this dress, or how's my mascara? Oh my gosh, I'm not wearing any makeup. It's like, what are you here to say? What will inspire people? What will give them more knowledge or more awareness? And how can they use this information to improve their lives in some way? And so for me, it was major. And I would definitely suggest that if you're listening to this and you're not really sure why you're here, and maybe not why you're here on the planet, but like what you want to contribute in life, or what your mission statement is, please go do that. And I'm sure if you said that to yourself before you made a speech, or said that to yourself every morning, you'll feel more confident and empowered to do what you want to do and not let anxiety rule your life.
Yeah, and that is just so, so, so important, because that is what your why is going to keep you motivated to keep going when you don't want to. So I so agree with you, just not for a presentation, just in general. And it takes a long time. I didn't know my why for 40 plus years. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while to get it, but when you get it, like now, I know that helping women get their voices heard is just what I light up to do. That is what I would do for free. That is what, I'm saying, that is just something that I'm passionate about. But of course I got to pay my bills. But it's just something that drives me when I'm too tired to go do a live. You know, I signed up for it. I know I got to go live every week, but look, I signed up for it. My community is dependent on me to deliver this. I don't care if it's 2 people on here or none, they're going to watch the replay. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it. And that really helps you when you find your why. So I definitely encourage everybody to keep at it until you figure it out, because sometimes you don't know.
Yeah, totally. So I want to say you look so much younger than 41. You look amazing. So gonna throw that out there.
Not 41, 44.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Goals.
Yes, because in your 20s, I didn't know, graduating from high school, you don't know, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just takes a while, and it takes trial and error. And just like people with being entrepreneurs, you may try something out one time and doesn't work. You try something else out until you find something that works. So
yeah, I've had so many different jobs and careers, and I like started out in the oil business, and then I moved to working for a fitness app, and now I'm getting my master's in psychology, and I'm a life coach. Yeah. My life coach empowerment guide is what I like to tell myself, but whole nother conversation. But yeah, I think what you said also about how it's really important to just show up, even if no one's going to be there, even if 2 people are there. Like the best speakers have always just kept showing up, and just remember what energy you're bringing to the table. Because if you can cultivate that energy as if you're speaking to 100 people or 50 people, like people will start to come. So just show up as your best self, and trust the process.
absolutely. Now, if you find yourself in mid-speech presentation on camera and the anxiety hits you, what should you do?
I'm a fan of laughing it off as much as possible. Laughing is like a release of energy. And if you're giggling a little, or you're just like, whew, just gonna laugh it off, be transparent. I'm all about honesty. I'm like, all right, if I really can't recoup, say, hey, I need a second here. I'm so excited. I just need to breathe, and maybe that comes after you take a deep breath. Maybe it comes after you're looking at your notes. If you're doing a live talk and you really just blank and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what's happening, try to find someone in the audience to connect to, or just like picture someone that really supports you in the back of the room. You're like, all right, cool. And remember, again, it's not about you. People do this all the time. So just take a deep breath, and time feels faster for you when you're on stage, or feels slower. But in reality, if you think it's a minute that went by, it's probably a few seconds. So just remember that, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah. And what is the difference? Like if you're recording yourself for social media versus a live speech, is there any difference? What are some pros and cons?
Yeah, I think the pros of doing social media, or, recording a video, is you get to set your space, you can put on your makeup, you can do it when you're ready, and you can re-record, you can add some graphics to make it look nice, like can kind of get make it look pretty, and edit it as much as you need to, which is like a blessing and a curse. On the con side, like perfectionism can kind of take over, and when you're doing social media, you have to like really capture people's attention in those first 5 seconds. People have the attention span of a goldfish, especially on Instagram. YouTube, I think it's longer, but you have to be really aware that you're competing for everyone's attention span amongst like thousands of people, which is like, it's fine. You have your unique voice, but remember that when you're on social media. And with lives, it's great. You can feed off the energy in front of the room if you're doing it in person. And once you're on, like, this is it, this is my chance. I can't get this back. So like use that to make the most out of your speech. And you can like play around with things in the room. You can move around, you can use props. Like it can be more of an engaging dialogue with the audience, or you can kind of like feed off the energy. But the cons are like, you know, you could mess up, you could freeze. If the energy isn't responding in the way that you want, then you have to be aware of that and be able to like protect your energy and just keep going. And yeah, you can't re-record it. So you just gotta, you're just gonna have to do your best and be okay with that. So I personally think videos really great. I still get like body anxiety when I'm going up on stage, and I love it, but it's like, it's a really intense experience for me, which is fine once in a while, but you know, everyone has their thing. So pick one that you feel comfortable with and then go with it. And maybe that will get easier.
Yeah, but live is like the wild, wild west. Like anything could go wrong. And I think, you know, just like when you see the newscasters out there, people being, you know, going back, giving the finger, like anything could happen and you just have to be prepared for it. I know, like when I was doing it and having guests, you know, their internet will go conk out. So it's just like, okay, what do you do? And I'm like, I can't just sit here and wait. No, you start asking people questions like, you know, what can I answer, you know, in this time? Or you have to do something. You just can't freeze up. Or you may have like a technical issue. Like it could be anything for lives. And it's just like, you got to power through. You got to.
Yeah. You just gotta, you know, you can, if you want, you can prepare before and be like, all right, if the internet cops out, if like my partner doesn't show up and I'm stuck on this live, what happens? What questions can I ask? Or like, how can I make the most of it and still keep it fun and light and not get like super bogged down by that? So I remember I saw someone who they were on a live with someone and then they were accepting a question from an audience member, and like someone in the back of the audience members room just like walked by naked, and just like, oh my God. Like, and she had like thousands and thousands of followers, or like, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of followers. Just, oh my God, I'm so sorry everyone, but like, what can you do? It just happened. So yeah, just gotta take it easy.
Go with it. And that reminds me of everything that went out. It was when kids were, you know, because of the pandemic, they were doing, you know, it at home learning or whatever. And the mother came to the closet behind the little boy and was naked, like, what is going on? Like, you know, you sat him in here to do his work. And it was just like, oh my goodness. It's just like anything, like you said, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I feel that, you know, you need to just try both. You know, some people just want to stick with pre-recording, which is good, but I think you should try, because like you said, you can make it pretty, the perfectionism start setting in and all this time or editing. But I think, you know, for your video presence, you should really have a balance of the two. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think, to be honest, I feel like I've had some resistance towards lives because I'm like, oh, reels are great, and you know, just do an IGTV, whatever. But I think there should be a balance, and if you prepare it well, then lives can be successful. I've done lives on the fly, and it's great. If you do a live, you're the first person, and we're talking Instagram here, but you're the like that first little bubble that comes up on people's screens. They get a notification like, hey, this girl's going live, so you can get some eyes on your message or your interview, whatever you're doing. And that's great. And that will like work in your favor with the algorithm. So Instagram is pushing lives. So I would say definitely get on those lives and focus on preparing. You can set a schedule, like get a calendar going and just do it. So
yeah,
motivate me to make lives for this next month. So thanks.
Yes. And I just, just wanted to just say that just don't let the anxiety take over. You will be fine. Just start. Yeah, so many people make so many excuses, but you have to just start, just like with anything. So.
Yeah, and you have to think like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Is it life threatening? And like, how can I prepare for this? What's 3 steps I could take, and what's like the best possible outcome that could happen? And let's think about that outcome. How can I get to that outcome instead? Chances are your fears, they're not life threatening, and you're not going to lose all your friends. Not like no one's gonna like unfollow you, like, and like spam your account and troll you and say, you're bad. Even if they do unfollow you, it's like, great, then your message isn't meant for that person. And then a new person can come in. So all about reframing your anxiety and what you're anxious about.
And that is so important. I'm glad that you touched on that, because so many times we look at that and be like, oh my God, like 2 people unfollow. You're so fixated on your follower count. And those people, like you said, wasn't accepting to your message. You may have went in a different direction. That's fine. Maybe you were talking about fashion at first, and now you're talking about baking cakes. I don't know. But you may lose some of your followers, but that's okay, because you want to repel the people that are not for you anyway. So don't get fixated on that. It's okay. You may drop all the way down if you were 3,000 to 500, but those are going to be your ride or die people that are there for you. And like you said, just reframing your mind. And it's just a mindset thing. Just thinking of a positive instead of the worst.
Yeah, exactly. And I think just on that note, if you can imagine how exhausting it would be to make everyone happy, and what if you had like 1 million followers, how much work that takes too. And like, sure, we all want to get our voice out there, but like, focus on your community now, and focus on the people also within your network. Like, you probably know at least 1,500 people. You can look at your Facebook friends of the people that you follow, like start with those people that you want to reach out to and talk to. And you can make an impact there, make an impact in your community first. Like, you don't need to save the world. You just need to make a difference to those people that you're speaking to, make a difference in your community, and you'll build from there. So basically, don't worry about your followers. Just focus on making a difference in your community, and focus on the people who really do resonate with your message. And it's okay if people unfollow you. It's wanted, right? So your voice is needed. You just have to find your tribe.
And I so agree. And my last 2 questions for you: what's next? And how can we stay connected with you?
Awesome. So what's next for me is I'm hosting online workshops, and you can head to my Instagram account to find out more. They are workshops focused on the new moon and full moon. And we go into like empowerment and speaking up about yourself. It's all related to zodiac archetypes, because I'm all into astrology. And yeah, I also have an 8-week coaching program. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can just send me a DM on IG and we can set up a clarity call. And that's it. You can find me at It's Natalie Hope. So I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And to you guys, what is going to be your takeaway from this episode? Like we said at the top of the show, everyone always has it. It will probably stay with you. But what are you going to do? What tips did you get from this show? We want to hear from you. So tell me in the comments. I definitely want to engage with you there. And whatever it is, make sure you take action on it. Don't just sit there and say, oh, I'll do it next month. No, if you say you're going to go live, or you're going to do a technique that was presented today, take action on it today. And don't forget to send me any other questions that you may have, so I can answer those as well, or do a show on them in the future. Also, here are some additional ways I can help your Go Live journey. Are you a part of our email community? We do weekly videos in there that motivate your go live journey. We have giveaways, we spotlight community members, and we have exclusive offers. So if you're interested in joining, go to my website, rosiefaulkner.com, and the first pop-up that comes up, just enter in your name and your email address on my homepage, and voila, you will be a part of our email community. Shooting the Shits with Rosie. Are you watching? I go live every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here you can ask me any questions about your go live journey. I'm here to answer and engage with you. My program, I'm doing this, I'm going live. If you're interested in joining, DM me on IG or Facebook to schedule a free chat to see if we are a fit for each other. It's a 4-week online program. We talk about your mindset challenges, and that's pretty much the biggest hurdle that you will have to overcome for most of my clients is your mindset. And then we also get you comfortable with the tools needed to go live, how to navigate the various social media platforms. And then after all that, because my program promise is, if I accept you as a client, you will become courageous enough to hit that go live button. So again, DM me on IG or Facebook to schedule a call to see if we are a fit for each other. My course, The Real Secrets to Gaining Confidence and Going Live, it's an online course, and I created it to help women like you show up confidently on camera. So if you have been going live for a short period of time, then this is for you. It will help you get content, camera, and tech confident, everything you need to know to conquer your video. So the link will be below in the description box. And if you find value in this video, I want you to subscribe to this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and check out my other videos on this channel. And I know you know one other person that could experience or share or get something, some tips from this this episode right here. So definitely share this episode link with them, because sharing is caring. So again, if you know one other person that could benefit from this episode, definitely share the episode link with them. And follow me on Facebook, Rosie Faulkner, and IG Faulkner_Rosie. And how I end all of my shows, the world is waiting for you to do what only you can. Your voice needs to be heard because it absolutely matters to someone. So let's turn on the camera, turn up the confidence, and tell your story. Until next time, bye-bye.